Alright, now we're in for game 2. Let's see how this one goes. We're on the draw with an extremely bad hand, so we're going down to 6. We're playing against an unknown opponent. But chip 37. We're going to mulligan this hand because it sucks. This one is a lot better. If our opponent is playing a graveyard deck, invite actually is good enough. We're keeping, we're sending down a Mistral Forest, and let's see how this one goes. Maybe it's Helio? No, it's not. So this leaves either the new version of Helio, or Infect, or a weird deck. Of course, we're playing Tron the Wooded, as it's our worst Festland. Especially with a mana growth, where we don't ever end up fetching for like basic mountain. That's a decent draw. It means we can go turn 2 Scavenging Ooze and turn 3 start activating if need so. If it's Infect, we're fucked. If it's Ponza, it's really weird because I play Noble Hierarch. And if it's Mono Green, oh okay, so it's an item of a Reliquire pile. That's, if only we had a turn 1 Utopias, but it would have been amazing. So the play is this naming white in here, spreading because of the Night of Reliquary is of course able to get like, what's the name? Angos Quarter or anything. So we're just going like this. This keeps the knight at a slow enough pace. He has collected company mana, so that's annoying. He went for it as a sorcery, which means he's likely playing like a value town shell, like Courser of Profix, Tracker, and such cards that want you to do this as sorcery speed because you get rewarded for it. We now need like an Enigmatic to get back on the value train that he's in. We're extremely behind if this resolves correctly. I'm surprised by how little Heliod I'm seeing in the leagues. I know it's really annoying to play in leagues, but I'm seeing like close to 0 when it's such a good deck in the meta. Our opponent taking its sweet time, either extremely tilted because it failed, or extremely happy because it's amazing. Well, that's devastating for us. So now we need... We're likely going Death Bouncer Reliquary for tempo, which is really bad. Like, it sucks as a play, but it's... Why is our opponent doing that? To shuffle? I mean, it makes sense, he stopped being a forest. Is he going to cut us on mana? I can see that happening. Yeah, the picture. Now that he's a bit lower on mana, he only has like 4 mana, I'm playing the spellbinder because it stops company for a turn. If he has a second one, and I will play with info for the... And it's a 3-1, which means it blocks here, so he cannot attack so freely. There's a huge chance this night, so I'm taking that Ramon up for 1 turn, I'm happy with that. This getting path is completely irrelevant. So we need an Enigmatic. If we don't take like an Enigmatic in the next turn, we are able to win because on the first turn we get Phantasmal Image, copy this, get rid of this, and on the following turn just play Spreading Seas and start getting rid of his board. There's a huge chance this does not attack, instead he taps it down to shuffle this Birds of Paradise and get like a fetch land so he can get a few extra looks. Regarding sideboard, as it seems we have a bit of time because our opponent is not playing at a fast pace. That's a great draw for him in a few turns. We are likely just adding the 3 on Thin Ice, even if it's vulnerable to Ghost Border, because he gets rid of the tutor, the Seal of Fire, and that's it. We don't want much more than that. Our opponent's hand is a Verse of Paradise and a Path to Exile. Reflector Mage would be an amazing draw because he's drawing one of these and he has one of these. And I have no idea what is taking so long for our opponent. Like, if he wanted to use the Knight, he should have done so on upkeep. So now it makes no sense. So why not just... He's doing like the weirdest possible attack. That's fine. Like, really fine. So we're going with the Teferi bounce, but only because of tempo reasons, because that also stops him from being able to go double Knight next turn, because he doesn't have enough mana, so we buy ourselves 1 or 2 turns. He maybe gets like Gaboni Township, which I will eventually find a way to deal with. Oh no, he's just getting... Why did he shuffle? He had a great draw on top. Why just risk it? Our draws have not been the best, and I'm not attacking because it stops this from attacking, which saves me 1 point of life. And this game will not likely be a race. It will likely be me trying to like establish an outstanding board presence and winning from there. So our opponent's hand is Knight, Path, Voice. He can double spell now, play Knight and Voice. We just need to find an Enigmatic on the top, or a Phantasmal Image, or a Land and Apparition. Those are like our best draws. If we get rid of this one, we can get rid of the rest slowly. This is the one that puts us on a bind, because it's been a 6-6, that's going to be a 7-7 that finds him Gaboni Township. I love this deck. This was my first real modern deck after taxes. I love it. I feel it's a bit too clunky, like it cannot beat a fast start from any deck, it cannot beat a good contra spell, so it just always feels like it's floating in the middle of nothing, sadly, because it's really fun. Him finding that is extremely tilting. He shuffled so many good cards and kept finding good cards. So we really need an Enigmatic like this turn if we're planning to win this. I'm taking this, getting rid of an attacker, and getting a 2 to ourselves. It's a bit smaller, but it blocks the same amount of stuff. He plays the Voice, of course, and we play for an Enigmatic. So we do this and hope for an Apparition, and this company being mediocre at best. I'm keeping that one. At least it forces his company to be like... It forces him to either lose one of his attacks, attacking the Teferi, or I cannot even play it. So yeah, that's GG. Alright, that was bad. So I want Meddling Mage to name Apparition and such. Teferi is really clunky, Kitchen Finks is probably a good blocker, Mouse of the Moon does almost nothing, and this is not the matchup for Elite Spellbinder. Let's hope our opponent does not take so long. Maybe I should have kept playing for the possibility of winning on time because of how slow he's playing. But I feel that bit of like I'm willing to win on time, just not play just because of it. Like if it happens, I'm going to accept it, but I'm not going to force it if we can avoid so. In most cases. Let's see how it goes. Let's go for a better starting hand, a bit more interactive. This is borderline. Turn 1 stopping his acceleration is extremely important, and that's the only basis of me making this skip. Also the fact that he's only removed from Kenrith is like a path to exile that maybe we can force. Him only to 5, so now I'm really happy with this skip. Attacking his mana, the ramp, and the colors. So it went from bad to great just because of our opponent mulligan into Oblivion, so of course I'm happy with that. I'm going with the Wooden Foothills as the fetch. If he plays a Dork, we are of course on thin icing that Dork with a Forest. Yeah, we are never letting him just have free mana. That deck is really slow without the fast mana. Drawing that makes me reconsider my plans slightly because of being able to double spell next turn while still taxing him. Like he cannot play like a double green spell, and now I'm extremely happy with my decision. Like I know it's a bit off, but I think that was the way to play this because if he plays a reliquary, I just get rid of a reliquary with on thin ice, and then Strings is here. It's sort of playing a resource game or a tempo game, but it's not the worst scenario. That's even greater for afterwards, so now this is here. We get rid of the knight, we get the Skyclave to attack a bit more of his resources next turn. We get rid of this. And now we have stupid amounts of interactions. To start with, he needs a company to have any chance of winning this, like this turn. And if not, and he probably has it, and if it's a good company, he can still win. Now, I'm not sure he can still win, because that's amazing. So I'm forcing his company with this play. Which is what I want, because I have this. So if he gets something insane, I can just ephemerate this. Fuck, that's our mind sensor. Maybe I should have fetching response, that's a really common card for them to play. Minor punt, but punishing. It's fine, we can just Skyclave the Avid Mind Sensor as soon as we untap. That's a good draw. Yeah, we go down to 12, it's fine. Drawing that makes me want to reconsider my plan, but I think it's still this one. If he has like a second company with great hits, I get punished. But that's the world we live in. I'm not attacking because I can double block, and I will double block. He gives me the opportunity to do so. So he will draw that. Him having that on top means now I can fetch because they never play more than 2 of those. So this allows me to hold up the Ephemerate, which is the card I want the most. He's going for the Skyclave apparition. That's something that has to die as soon as it enters the board. He has his Skyclave and one more. He's targeting the on thin ice. And then we are just ephemerating here, getting rid of the Knight of the Reliquary, and on the upkeep getting rid of this. That will even trigger Revolt, so we can get back a fetch land and hold this up. That's completely fine. The Ephemerate will just win this game on its own, and the second Ephemerate is just back up. I am willing to give him this trade. No, actually, no, because of the second Ephemerate. But it means I can just do this now and save some life. We just give him a 1-1, and then I give him a 2-2, which the Renegade Warrior will likely be able to control without much issue. And we can get our own 1-1 if we ever need so. Oh wait, it's a 3-3, that's fine still. We are getting rid of this and the renegade value will hold up the board. So do I want to go for the greedy play? There's no need when I can just do this. Play this, get back a fetch lands, I go holding up a Ferrite and Omen of the Seas. He will likely play the tracker and we will just FM right here, get rid of it. In response to him fetching. His hand is 2 unknowns and a tracker. That's one of them. So he went for the smart play of just playing that. Alright, his last hand is a fetch land, it's annoying. It's not, fine. So how do I solve this? The only question here is if I'm willing to give him the 6-6 that he might get here. And I think the answer is yes. Because it wins really fast. I will shrink it extremely fast, so... And then I can just find a reflector or anything to like control the board. I'm getting rid of the first, I can just get rid of this on the second trigger. I fight here. So now I need like a Deputy Detention, an Enigmatic, or like any of those great draws I could find. I'm fetching this now. So the plan is simple, it's finding... I will actually play this in response, just so I can get a bit more info. I want on Thin Ice, it gets rid of his biggest creature. So now I need like an Enigmatic soon. Soon, pretty soon actually. Destiny Spinner is not bad at all, a 2-3 actually blocks a lot of his board. And I paid my money correctly, fuck. Now that's a huge punt by me. That's extremely huge, that is game losing on its own. Because it will force me to block with one of these to preserve my life total instead of having a 2-3 that actually protects my spells. So that was dumb, like simply dumb, in every single way. Our opponent is empty-handed, but this gets him a Bonnie downship if he requires it. And he even attacks correctly, so I put myself in a really bad spot for no reason. And that sucks a lot. If I had a 2-3, I would actually feel comfortable in this spot, and that's the worst part, because then he loses this and I have 4 blockers for his 4 attackers. And I lose. And I likely lost this game because of that punt. Because if not, I could just hold myself, I would be like at 5, play the Kenrith, and next turn I could get like 10 life. So I lost that game because of tapping my money correctly. That sucks.